AKA Patters, we're talking cartoonist K-Fake. Again, not really. We're extrapolating from a video from earlier. Manga. Why would it never save comic shops? You hear this all the time. We're going to talk about it. What's up, AKA Patters? Let's just get right to it. AKA Pat here, 6'9", the eclectic one. Alright, cartoonist K-Fake. They did this live stream. Comic book shops are dying. And in this live stream, we already did a video on this, but I just wanted to elaborate on it just a little bit more. They kind of talk about manga, Japanese comic books, and that model getting implanted into comic shops, and that model might help comic shops. Well, guess what, people? That is frivolous BS. It's not even clear. I don't know what that means. I'm sure you don't know what that means. But let's number one extrapolate to what it might mean. Number one, what Ed Piskor and the other guy, the K-Fakers, are trying to say. They're basically saying manga sells. It outsells American comics. American comic shops need to do that. Okay, well, let's back it up here and see exactly what that means. A lot of the volumes that hit the top of the charts, like something like Demon Slayer will hit the top of the charts volume after volume, and we have a collection of series that will hit the charts volume after volume. Now, in the American comic book industry, we have evergreen sellers. Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen, just naming two of them. We have evergreen series. I one time back during my comic shop days, we would order Ultimate Spider-Man and Preacher all the way down. All the Alan Moore Watchmen's, all five. I believe it was 5, maybe 6. But we, order, line down, pump that stock, right? So here's the funny thing. Realistically, you're only going to get a handful of manga titles that are evergreen on that level. Meaning they're going to sell. Old volumes and new volumes, you always have to keep it in stock. Now, earlier today, you guys see how that's an impossibility. Earlier today, I was in Barnes & Noble. I was in the bookstore. We have a great one here in Center City, Philadelphia. And they had this giant manga section. And I'm just walking through it. And I just say to myself, well, what if I liked this series and I need a volume 5? Volume 5's not there. Hey, I like this series. What if they have, what's the newest? Look up the newest volume. They don't even have the newest volume. So the inventory that comic shops need to keep to maintain a manga library, it's vast. It's a giant capital investment that would never work. The drip of the American comic book release schedule serves the American consumer, and it also serves shop owners, because weekly they get the cash in, and that helps run the business, pay off their debts, pay their employees. A lot of American comic shops are not only month to month, but they are week to week, and the manga model that is still undefined basically would mean that you have to make a giant capital investment to keep giant libraries available. Because even for me, and people like, let me find it right here. Alright, so right here, pulling it from my shelf, this is the prime example of this. And this will show you guys that as much as we want to believe, readers don't follow through with the entire manga run. And this is the chaos that libraries like this create. So this is Fist of the North Star. I bought this sight unseen. I was so excited to finally just get Fist of the North Star in some type of printed edition. It really is probably my favorite manga next to Akira. But here's the thing. I read this and I'm like waiting for the next volume. And then it just occurred to me that I'm like, well, how many volumes is this? This is like 20-something volumes. People, no way. There's few titles that hold up. There's even, if you're into the artwork, there's only so much artwork from a particular style or artist or even production house that you can handle. 20 volumes of this, and people, I kind of want to say, I think it was 18 or maybe even like 28, but it's up there. It's too much. It's not complete. You can't hold it in your hands. So you expect American comic shops to, what, regularly keep 20 volume collections in stock and what, rotating all the time? That ordering system, that inventory system is not there. Here's the other revelation I had when I was at Barnes & Noble. You look at their manga section, again, you're in awe. It's glorious. They just have volumes and stacks. But guess what? Barnes & Noble isn't just propped up by manga. It's a giant big box store. They have other departments, other categories, other types of merchandise to supplement the engine of the store, because people aren't always buying manga. Barnes & Noble will have like the new Elon Musk biography right there when you walk in. They make their $35 bag and they're moving on. It's an ecosystem. Some of these big box stores, they're glorious in how well they organize, and they get their inventory perfect and streamlined. American comic shops don't even have the software for that. They just don't have. There's no technology to assist American comic shops with everything that I just described. And you might be like, Pete, you're a technology guy. Why don't you just create that? No, because there's also no money in me doing that. Trust me, guys. Okay? So, those are the two big arguments. American comic shops will not sell enough manga to only sell manga. Manga on its release schedule will not pull people in weekly to help run the store. People, the only thing to save American comic shops is the American comic book and that weekly comic book drip and that dopamine addiction that you get as a reader, as a hardcore reader, following not only a book but a universe and a company. Mostly at this point it would be Marvel or DC. There's not really any competitors at this point other than a couple, we'll just call them image titles or independent titles. It's very telling right now that Transformers has somehow become impactful to readers and speculators alike. Now, back during my time, the biggest pop my comic shop had was the release of Transformers from Dreamwave. People, there is something to that. Dreamwave brought in this other boom era, this 80s boom era that kind of came into comics, never really went away since. What's happening with Skybound and Transformers isn't even close to that. It's a level of excitement, but eventually it's going to fizzle out. When it fizzles out, it's going to be very quickly. I just want to be clear, and to address something further, I understand me making a video on something that you disagree about, can be confusing, because you just want to take away a little bit of my freedom to voice my opinion, and that opinion might be so contrarian to yours that your mind explodes and you just assume that I don't absorb the material that I critique. People, if I can sit in front of a camera and talk about something for sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes 12 minutes, and make multiple videos and multiple takes until I whittle it down to what I present to you, it befuddles me that you would think I would not absorb the material that I criticize. I've had some Savage Dragon fanboys do this to me on Twitter, where they're like, hey, you call Eric Larson comic book's biggest pervert, you don't even read the book. I'm like, people, like, I know the gospel of Savage Dragon. I think it's juvenile to assume that doesn't happen, especially because I feel like, in my videos alone, there is a lot of effort, there's a lot of expertise, there's a lot of institutional knowledge, personal anecdotes, and I do pull in a lot of history when we do these videos. And it's just shocking to me that you can watch something and not agree with it, but also just you kind of just like wash it away, hoping that someone in my position is just, I don't know, doing this without passion, without a even like a righteous angle, putting so much effort into these videos, and me just hoping to trick people. Anyone out there that is confused about what the exchange would be, and you have a position, I will live stream with you. We will sit down, be cordial and be friendly, be nice, and go through what the bullet points are, and not to even say who comes out on top, but just to be clear, anyone out there that has the desire to do that, you let me know, and we'll do it live. But here's the thing, and I've offered this before to people. People don't do it live because they are cowards and they don't have conviction, and they're as bad as the troll that they think I am. Rock and roll, AKAPADers. Subscribe, support. The army is growing. I love you guys.